How's it going, guys? It's a Nutshell here, and today's huge patch has improved a ton of things for PvE mode. So let's talk about them, because the first one is going to be probably the biggest one and why I've selected it first, and that is the fact that AI enemy reaction system has been completely overhauled within the PvE mode, which makes my earlier video today slightly redundant in terms of how all PMCs will react, but will definitely be the exact same for a lot of the PMC interactions where they do become aggressive. And talking about aggression, that is what they have changed within all of the PMCs on the PvE mode, which I think is going to be a good benefit to a lot of people and is somewhat in line with what they've done with the new addition of the Partisan boss. This is the boss that essentially sets tripwires and will go after PMCs that are specifically have low PMC karma, which is attributed to a more attacking playstyle, gives you better karma, and having a more passive or negatively impacting behavior within your game. So for example, on PvP, ratting people gives you a lower PMC karma. The higher your PMC karma, the less likely the boss is to go after you, and raids with a ton of people with low PMC karma will essentially mean that the boss will go after those individuals and have a higher chance of spawning on those maps with people who do have lower PMC karma. And so with that being said, of course, the introduction of this AI system now allows you to target specifically the opposite of what your faction is. So what they've actually said here is there are like 5 different possible reactions from an AI PMC within PvE mode, which means there's instant aggression and attack, which means, as it sounds, there is instant aggression. They're going to instantly know that you're there. They're going to come at you like they already do within the game. You then have friendly unless shown aggression, which means that regardless of what happens, if they come after you, they basically will only do that once you start attacking them or start aiming at them potentially. And with that being said, that is going to be a useful thing for if you need to take out PMCs, funnily enough. So whether or not there's going to be some exploits to essentially complete some of your tasks a lot easier, I think that is a potential option. There is also total friendliness. Now, whether this is a thing where you can take out a member of someone's squad and they not even respond to you, they're still friendly with you, cheering with you, giving yourself a beer as you pop one into their friend's head, I have no idea. But essentially they are going to have total friendliness as well. That is an option that they can have. And warning and attacking if not obeyed. So if you don't obey them, so maybe they say get out of here, and then you leave and they won't attack you, but if you come closer they're going to attack you. So essentially they'll voice line, I would assume, to say like don't come closer or something like this, and so that is kind of how that one will work, or give you like a voice line to tell you like you're in that sort of range where if you move any closer or come closer or start shooting, then they're going to attack you. And then you've got neutral and less shown aggression, which I would assume that essentially these are, unless you shoot at them, they won't attack you. But as soon as you start shooting, they're going to come after you. Friendly and less aggressive, I would assume, would also then put a bit more context on that they will support you until you attack them. So that is kind of how I would assume that works. So if they see another faction, so if you're a USEC and there's a bear PMC, and you're with all of the USEC PMCs, they will help and support you against the bear PMC, kind of making the factions a little bit different, and yeah, they will kind of fight with you, or at least that's what the intention is. So the choice of whether to be aggressive depends on the mood of the bot. So I assume that some of them will spawn with a better chance of being aggressive, some of them will spawn with a lower chance. It's just going to be RNG as to whether or not they're going to be aggressive, and the faction of the target. So for example, if an AI bear encounters an AI USEC, they are more likely to engage them, but not necessarily 100%, than they would be if they encountered another AI bear. The decision whether to be aggressive or peaceful is made for both player scavs and player PMCs. The chance of meeting a more aggressive AI PMC varies depending on the location. So if you're playing Ground Zero, it's going to be lower than if you were to play Labs, where it's the most aggressive. So almost every PMC that you come up against on something like Labs will primarily come after you. So just be aware of that. And that's something you should kind of get to grips with and learn for the map. So there's going to be less fighting or less aggression towards you, which I think is a good thing, especially on those wider open maps, which can be a real pain if someone just beams you from far away. It doesn't usually happen all too much, and usually you can hear the voice line, but on the odd occasion where you are trying to run in a bit more of an open area where you don't have as much cover, as soon as they spot you, you just don't have the time to react, because within about a second they start firing at you, and if you haven't already taken them out or flinched them or whatever, then they are going to take you out very, very quickly, as their aim just gets increasingly better to the point where they'll just hit you in the head at the end of the day. So I think that this is a very big change for the AI within PvE, but it is a very new and recent change, so we have no idea what sort of bugs and what sort of things are going to come out with regards to this in particular, so be aware of that. Of course, this is all very new, and although it may look like a good change, it could be terrible, but equally it could be even better of a change than what I think that this is going to do. So I'm a bit hesitant to give an opinion as to yes, this is a brilliant change, or yes, this is a terrible change, because we just don't know. I need to play more and understand how the AI actually work for me to give a valid opinion. So hopefully you guys, if you've been trying it out or been able to get onto Tarkov today with the release of the new wipe for PvP and the servers just falling into the abyss, then yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. But that's not the only thing for PvE, because there's going to be some new guns, and the new guns include the Uzi, which is kind of cool, and one of the benefits of having a PvE account means that whenever any of these new additions come into the game, unlike a wipe for example, where you don't get them unless you can unlock them or be able to find them in your raids, PvE you're going to be able to actually find these items within the game much easier, because of the fact that it's PvE and you don't lose your statistics. So your traders are going to have various different things that you can essentially already buy from them if they're a part of the unlock requirements, if that makes sense. For example, you can see the Uzi here. This is the Uzi, this one in Peacekeeper. Now I don't know at which level this is unlocked. I guess we could have a look as to what level it's actually unlocked. You've got an Uzi Pro pistol, which is level 2 of Peacekeeper. Level 1, we have the Uzi just standard variant. And then at level 3, whether or not we get a different version, yeah, we get a Uzi Pro pistol. Holy damn, this thing looks absolutely crazy. So yeah, they've got this one in the game. So it appears like the higher the trader level, you get all of the different variants that we've got in the game. And you've also got the Desert Eagle from Jaeger, so you can actually get the Desert Eagle yourself from Jaeger at level 2, but you do need to hand in a pressure gauge, so I'm assuming that these may have gone up in price. Absolutely, because everyone's wanting to get their hands on the old Desert Eagle at the moment in time. And then if we have a look, you can also get one at level 3, which requires an F conditioner, and then we haven't got any at level 4, so it appears like you can get the Desert Eagle at level 4, well, level 2 and 3 of Jaeger, dependent on which one you have, depends on the barter that you're going to need. And from what I can tell so far, from all of the quests that I've completed and everything that I've done so far on PvE, I haven't completed all of the quests that were previously available before this patch. There were a ton of new quests added in that you can see here. So Possessor, we've got ourselves Healthcare for Privacy Part 6, which is the brand new one. We've got ourselves some other ones. So if we have a look here, Exit here, Survive and Extract through the factory through the main exit. We got ourselves One Less Loose End, which actually rewards you with a Desert Eagle as well. And then we've got ourselves Black Swan, which is locate and mark the first heat exchange on the new factory. Of course, factory got changed. And then we've got ourselves Claustrophobia, which is on the new factory as well. And then we've got Rough Tarkov, which is a tripwire installation kit, and located the heavily mined area on Woods and the Claymore mine on Ground Zero. So that is in the kind of little room. And once you've done that, I'm assuming leading on to unlocking all of the tripwire requirements and stuff like that that you can use in your raids. I'll be going through all of these and covering all of the sorts of things in the upcoming video, so I'd highly recommend making sure to subscribe down below if you want to see some more Escape from Tarkov PvE content, as well as some of the PvP ones sprinkled in there if you're interested in that as well. And then we've got a couple of other quests as well that were added in, and they all have kind of branches that that come off of those quests. They do not actually introduce the kind of movement between all of the maps, so the marathon mode that you could get on PvP, essentially, that's not available at this moment in time on the PvE mode, so just be aware of that. So we don't get the kind of map-to-map travel at this moment in time, but it will be available after the event, I believe, from what I've seen or heard from BSG, but nothing confirmed as of yet. And then we've got a couple of other updates to various different weapons, and essentially they patched finally the kind of PvP no AI bug, and hopefully they'll start introducing the difficulty system, so essentially people can actually play how they want to play. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on it. I'm going to play with normal AI. I find it boring just running in with no AI at all. So, but yeah, it's going to be coming at some point, hopefully, as PSG have said. But I would highly speculate that there would be something within the next couple of months, maybe. But I would recommend, well, I'd conservatively say it will not be for about 2 months because of all of the changes and all of the bugs that are going to happen because of the newest patch. BSG will be focusing on trying to knuckle down those and some of the things for PvP. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be any huge things coming out for PvE right now as of the wipe just beginning on PvP. But yeah, very, very big changes. I wanted to cover some of those so when you go into your raids, you're not kind of surprised too much. There's also a hideout zone that is now available, and we've actually got the confirmed bonuses for the hideout zone that is actually in the game. Now, this hideout zone is the Cultist Circle, which is right here. And on PvE, apparently you actually have to kind of construct it. And oh my lord, jeez. The white salt is very expensive right now, but yeah, you have to you actually have to construct it, and currently I have not got the required amount, but just for you guys, I will go ahead and try and buy some up, and I'll talk to you about it in a minute. Okay, that took way longer than I was hoping for, trying to spend 1 million plus on each of these white salts, but we can construct it. It'll take 6 hours. It was supposed to be a bonus from the Unheard edition, but apparently not working as of right now. But either way, whatever. I don't mind it. I've got way too much money on this game. Anyway, we also have the gear rack. I'll talk about the bonuses for each of these in a sec, but I'll buy this and make sure that we've got it upgrading so we get it as quickly as possible. So let's talk about the bonuses. Managed to finally construct it. Takes 6 hours to do the first one. There are 3 upgrade levels, each one adding a mannequin to the actual gear rack, which you can put and store gear onto. So each you can equip gear from the mannequin or exchange the gear already equipped by your PMC for the mannequin's gear, which means that quick drop all of your gear that you've already got on you onto the mannequin, which I think is very nice and kind of almost like a preset. So you could just load up the mannequin with a ton of kits, so you can just instantly after a raid goes, you can just exchange everything and get ready for the next one. So I think that's going to be nice. Pouch items and special slot items do not apply to equipping and exchanging, so you can't put in like markers and that sort of stuff. Mannequin gear is displayed in the list of kits window. You can equip a kit from a mannequin there. Right, so let's talk about the Cultist Circle. Cultist Circle is essentially a sacrifice thing, so you put in gear or items or whatever you want to put in to the Cultist Circle, and then you get a random kind of roll to be able to get items that are required for your task that you currently have, and that is going to be a big bonus to anyone that's wanting to kind of get yourself towards those tasks and really progress in the game. But you have to sacrifice essentially items that are in that sacrifice have to be above a certain threshold, so the value needs to be over a certain amount for you to have the chance at being able to get it, and that is where that 25% chance comes in. If you're not, then you won't get that. The value of items is further increased by the bonuses from the Sacred Amulet, so if you've got that, then make sure that you've got that on when you do this. And then the hideout management skill is also affecting this, so you know, the boost to the percentage bonuses from each of this, that's going to give you that chance to be able to get it. So I'd highly recommend doing that. The total determines the value of items received as a gift from the cultists, so you do receive a gift back from the cultists as well, but that 25% chance is kind of where one of those items can be essentially the item required for a task. Of course, you could get multiple items for a task as well, so this is going to be a very big thing for anyone wanting to do those long and arduous grindy tasks, especially if you're doing Kappa and really struggling to find that final item, and that's the only real task that you have. Then yeah, it's going to be a big bonus, and you probably don't want to progress any other tasks until you get that chance back. So going to be a big thing for everyone, and anyone that purchased the Unheard edition will have the Cultist Circle built instantly unless you play PvE apparently. Oh, and by the way, there are a couple of additional items that are in the game. For example, the Insect Gas Pipe Wrench is also in the game now, so I mean, it's there. It's used for a barter trade, I believe, that you can actually trade this in for, and I'm sure there'll be some tasks that maybe require you to get this in the game. So yeah, nice to have that as an addition. But yeah, so far a pretty good start to the whole patch 0.15. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and of course subscribe down below, and I'll join you back in the next video coming soon. Goodbye.